And that's a further inference before I forget. So the letter of reaction to the managing director was obviously an important legal document. So I appreciate it was a sort of Kaczynski-like manifesto type thing, but it was obviously intelligently put together. One of the less offensive books that she may want to consider is The Coddling of the American Mind by Height. So Height is, of course, in the pursuit of inferences. Well, if you can't think the consequences through, then how do you expect Oppenheimer to create the atom bomb, isn't it? They've created a film about the guy, so there's an entire Hollywood film about a gentleman thinking about mass death and coming to terms with the considerations of his behaviour. And you think about this kind of thing in terms of asymmetric warfare, in terms of drones, because you have to, don't you, unless you're a moron. So I've now gone off track in terms of the inference because, again, the lack of urgency from my colleagues just drives me absolutely mad. Rather than asking me to fill out a form, even among my colleagues, can you just give me staff to do it, please? It's just a lot easier if I can just rant at people. What was the inference I was about to make? In fact, I can't remember what was the inference I was going to make, but since we're sending another howitzer shell about them tomorrow, we'll just use that instead. So the proposal sensibly then is, again, if you are more intellectually liberated and you are part of people who are actually educated, then you can think more lucidly about solutions, can't you? So you make the entirely sensible solution. Well, think about, let's go back to the 1800s again. Yeah, sorry, let's think about the argument from there. Can we just have a moment, please? And then you think it through, don't you? So, okay, well, we know who in the German philosophy school was right. We listen to that guy and just clear the people causing problems out of the way. So if you've gone along with the forcibly rammed in corrupt nonsense, well, we'll forcibly ram it out then, won't we? I can interview you under caution, explain your behaviour, and if you can't explain yourself, I don't care what you say. We're a bedrock dug into the soil of Scotland by the thymotic will of the Celts and their endless rage. The proposal to wall off the city with howitzer shells is historically entirely reasonable. You read Churchill's History of the English-speaking people, and you carry on his work after his death posthumously. What is the current situation in Birmingham other than a death trap? There should be levelled from outside the city walls, while Boudicca and you run electricity through each other. It's just one of these historical moments where if you can think about Fukuyama's work and think, well, this is clearly absolute nonsense, no, thank you, you can just progress, can't you? And if you're surrounded by people who are entrepreneurial and more liberated in that sense, think of history and what things are worth in the actual reality of the sense, then you've got an excellent team who can just say to the city, no, we don't need you, we don't want you, no. So when you've got the energy to put that into legal proceedings, you can make a perfectly reasonable case and it just self-finances. It's not even the problem with money, it's the problem with clearing the qualifications pathway, because of course the Blairite state gummed that all up. How do you translate this kind of stuff into, well, we go into a prosecutorial path, please? How do you transfer? I mean, Grok plus acceptance officer could do it, but they would have to actually respond, wouldn't they? So any kind of possible solution you have is blocked off because of the intransigence by every part of the state and the private sector supposedly organisations, including Lord Young's lot. You're standing in front of a horse's head, right, silhouetted in the beautiful English countryside, your trophy, you've managed to make it there, and you've been vetted by the spooks, you haven't blown a building up, they're happy that you aren't a criminal, so that's fine. But can they maybe send an email, please, once you've sent things with a wax seal to David Fern? That's in the evidence chain as well. You don't need sophisticated database records or IT forensics. We went back to wax and paper. I've got papyrus as well, the gift shop sells it. You're pumping this stuff through a speaker into a camera that goes up through satellite into a bunker daily with time and dated witness statement that has legal implications based on a prior chain that starts from 2020 and prior. Who is picking this apart? Is it Deborah or the replicant? Or David Fern? Or Tim Savile? or Joanne Campbell, or the Mayor of Birmingham? It's him, isn't it? 'Cause he's given us a firm answer. So the problem is that the total decay in people's brains. When you go at the polls, the polls are kind of pitying us. Oh, they're there. We'll help you out a bit, and come out, give it a rest over here. And you'll say, yeah, thanks, guys. We'll just bounce the enlightenment off each other for a bit, back and forth, and eventually we'll get it. We'll get the last one. But thank you. Okay, fine. If your elites can't take the Golden Bridge, then they're just idiots, aren't they? You can't be in a public body and be this stupid and corrupt. Thank you very much. Thank you. So the managing director, I'm sure, I haven't spoken to her recently. It's a bit of an embarrassing situation, really. Some of these relationship breakdowns are a bit awkward over time, but my colleagues have helped me out greatly over time. I'm sure she can comment on the subject. I greatly appreciate the comments by the leader of Poland when we were down in London, and his support for the British at this our time of need. And I'm sure my colleagues will support us in the dealing with the total corruption in Birmingham's court service and restore it to some kind of functioning. Since they will undoubtedly not disgrace the British legal system. So when investigators come in to do the pounds and pence legwork, I'm sure they will volunteer to go in as database specialists and make the correct inference in terms of future investigations into the policy of Birmingham and the general corruption and malfeasance in its housing stock. Once again, your pounds and pence, your lawyers should be sitting down with his pen and paper. Here's a legal statement worth X amount. Here's the damage caused by lack of clinical guidance set out by City of Birmingham. Just work it out. Get AI to do that kind of stuff. Make inference. Work it out, either damages or whatever it is, or penalties. Just get someone working. Get your staff off their arse. A dedicated team. Get Catholic on it. Get Debs on it. Crack team of experts, like the A team or whatever you want to call them. I'm sure South will come up with some kind of bullshit, or she'll be windscreen by that time anyway. But I don't know. I mean, this is why the Scrutonian drone idea is a great idea, because Helen goes in under armed guard. Again, you turn a bin lolly into a tank, put a gun on the back. Helen goes in with a loudspeaker, teaches cynical theories. You surround the city with Scrutonian drones. So the Scrutonian drone is now policeman, and he comes and speaks to you and says, "Hello, sir, are you okay?" and has a Scrutonian conversation with you. And obviously, those are your new police because they're ethically trained. So Peter Hitchens is forgiven for getting cannabis wrong. We honour him with a Peter Hitchens drone rank or something as we roll the product out in his new police force. He can start with ethics, he can work on that, he can do his job, get off your arse please, and we can start actually moving the old guard forward as well. Come on Pete, let's sort it out. The great one about Hitchens, of course, he used to Google his search his own name on X, so if you insulted him he would be summoned from the ether. I think he's blocking people now after the legalisation because his argument's been destroyed. Obviously just clinical proof now is so overwhelming, hugely beneficial for people like Parkinson's. The one doing the rounds, the guy touches his gums a bit and sort of in 15 minutes he's relieved of all this pressure, can function really well. So the harm done is comparable to the infected blood scandal. My former friend, current or former friend, had his father die because there was an AIDS-infected blood transfusions, came in from America, and he succumbed to that, and he was compensated by the British state. But of course, if you've gone through a corrupt and dangerous clinical pathway because the doctors were incompetent or hostile or dangerous, and you weren't allowed to use your endocannabinoid system yourself, you're stopped from using your own body by someone pretending to be a doctor or bureaucrats or whatever it may be, then there are obvious damages, etc., etc. You don't need to be a genius to work this kind of stuff out. You don't need to be Arthur Schopenhauer. So the many quotes annoy people. So the Churchill quote about his observed from the safety of Britain colonial subjects was always true. That drives them mad. And of course, the quotes. Oh God, I'm too stupid. Damn. Damn. No. Okay, seconds. I'm not having it. It was seconds, right? Seconds. So the bring back is against Arthurian ethics. You say, well, I'm sorry. Well, if I had the ability to sort of think about reality in a Arthurian sense, so you can do the zoom in, zoom out thing in terms of general overviews, and you do think about these terms, then I don't actually have to defer to you. So once again, you sit down, think of legal inference, natural run-on sentence fashion, and it is just avoid Kampf. If you can analyse the primate in that kind of detail, then it's avoid Kampf. So for the record, you can metadate this, whatever it is, I'm sure by the servers. The time is roughly 4:30. I think one on Wednesday, Thursday, I can't actually recall, I think it's Thursday. Still no response from police when we're quite clearly saying to various members of a Birmingham compliance team that are normally used to summoning police, I would need police assistance please because of serious internal corruption, including serious white collar crime. Can David Fern match that for a run-on sentence?